I've got a record player that was made in 2014. Dyed my hair blue, it came out a C6 sort of green.
Welcome back to the Organ Makers channel. Today we're going to make a record player stand. So I'm going to break down plywood that I've already stained the faces of. And these are all cuts with the track saw and table saw. And I'm going to set the angle at 20 degrees so I can get a bevel because the supports for the top are splayed out at 20 degrees. I'll rip this piece. This piece will attach the top. And then the panels I did on the sliding miter saw just because I had a little more control over it that way. And those are all the parts and the cut list. So I'm going to attach the sides to the feet using half laps, and that's because I want this piece to be able to break down and almost pack flat. This is for a teenager, and maybe someday she'll go to college and want to take this with her, so it's easier to pack that way. So used a piece of plywood as a spacer and fits real nice. Can make like another little tweak to it, looks like. And on the feet I plowed those out using the miter saw. So I'm gonna come over to my bench and flatten out that bit there, because when I plowed it out with the miter saw, you know, the blade is round, so it leaves kind of a curvy bottom. So I'm just using the saw to go down the edges, and then I clamped in a little sacrificial piece there so I can chisel through the piece into it so I don't damage my bench. And that's always sitting below my bench. Good little piece to have, a little shop fixture to have. I'm using my measuring gauge there, which I have a video on how I made that, to mark my depth. Chiseling plywood is not easy. Alright, got all my pieces back to the assembly table, and kind of a little quick dry fit. And you can see the sides, I've beveled the tops and bottoms. Now I'm going to put a little arc on the feet. That way when records get put in the bin, they'll automatically want to fall to the sides. Just going to smooth out my little bandsaw cut. Gotten a lot better with the bandsaw recently. I adjusted the tension and have it a lot tighter than I thought I needed it, and it cuts so much better. So there you go. So I forgot to video me rounding over the edges, but there's the router bit. I didn't expose the whole half round, so I want the edge to be kind of pillowed, not rounded over. So I ran all the exposed parts with that, and coming back to my bench, and we'll do a little hand sanding. So I have this 2x6 that I drilled a hole in, and it's 1.5 inches diameter. And I just cut that in half and put plywood on the inside, and that's like perfect for pillowing the edges. Got like 100 grit paper in here. So I'm going to hit all the exposed edges. Now it's time to finish. So I put blue tape on where my glue line is going to be, and using gloss polyurethane. And I did like 3 coats, probably maybe 4 coats on the top. So these are little ledgers. They go in at an angle, so I clamped a little sacrificial piece to it to kind of align the outside edges. See how that's kind of, and then nailed from below, and then clamped it. And we'll let that set up. And then the final coat is wax. So just your basic wax. I've used Brie wax before. They didn't have it when I needed to buy a new wax tin, so I'm using the Johnson. This is the second project I've used that. And then I'm going to wet my rag with denatured alcohol before I put it in the wax. And then that just makes the wax go on smoother and it all evaporates out, dries really quick. And it's a good look. So this is going in the same house that the coffee tables went in, which I linked earlier. So kind of the same look, different room, but same look. And then I'm just buffing the wax off with a terry cloth towel. And you can see all the 5 pieces will fit perfectly in the back of a car. Alright, now we're going to clean up the finishing stuff and get ready for final assembly. So, moving blanket, got the top upside down. It's shop grade plywood, so that's why there's kind of that flaw in there. I'm using the 1, 2, 3 blocks to line everything up, clamp it down, and I'm going to pop in 4 screws. I really wanted it to be knocked down. I could put dowels in there, but I wanted it to be somewhat secure for the time being. I realized I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be, so I'm readjusting that one side. Making sure that the feet still fit in there nice. Put a tape measure on there just to make sure that I had more than 12 inches so a record would actually fit in there. And there you have it. The record player stand. Pillowed edge, exposed edge, plywood. And that's how we made it.